Hi, welcome. If this is your first time here, I'm glad you're joining us. If not, welcome back, and I hope that you enjoy today's makeup shenanigans. In today's video, we're going to talk about 4 brands that I've tried, but I want to try more of in 2024. I just thought about one right before I sat down to record this video, and we're gonna do a bonus brand. So it's gonna be 4 brands that I want to try more of in 2024, plus an extra, a little honorable mention. So the way that we're gonna do this is that I'm gonna show you some of the products that I already have from the brand, and some of the products that I've tried and I like, and then tell you some of the products that I would like to try next, or at least the product categories. If you think that this will be fun and you're curious about the brands that I would like to try more of based on a positive impression of the first couple of products that I've tried, let's get started. So the first brand that we're gonna talk about is probably one of the brands that has impressed me the most in the last couple of years, and by far one of the most impressive products that I tried in 2023. The brand is Victoria Beckham Beauty, and the product is her Satin Kajal liners. I also tried some samplers of her perfume line when I got these Satin Kajal liners, and I have to say I liked 2 of the 3 perfumes that I tried. I liked Portofino and I liked Sweet 302. The one that is inspired in LA, San Isidro Drive, I didn't quite love, but I'm open to like smelling it again. However, these Satin Kajal liners are phenomenal. They are by far some of the best eyeliners I have ever tried. I got 3 shades: Ash, Cocoa, and Navy Noir. I've used all of them, and I am very, very impressed with the durability and how easy to manipulate the formula is. Yes, Victoria Beckham Beauty is an expensive brand, but I do think that they deliver when it comes to product quality, and even the user experience is incredibly luxurious. Your order comes packed in this beautiful pouch with a printed note in like Victoria's handwriting, and it's just a really elevated experience, and I really enjoy the quality of these eyeliners. So I'm definitely open to trying more from the brand. What do I want to try next? Well, I really want to try some of the cheek products, especially the bronzers and the highlighters. Victoria Beckham, to my knowledge, doesn't have blush. I don't think she does, but I haven't bought a powder bronzer like outside of a palette in a really long time. So maybe it has to be the Victoria Beckham bronzer. Maybe that's the one. I'm also really excited to try maybe some of the skincare products that she's done. She's had some collabs with Agostino's Butter. So I'd be curious to try that. And I'm also very, very curious about the Posh Lips line, and some of those balmy lipsticks that she has. I love myself a balmy lipstick. So I'd be very, very curious to try those as well. But I think based on what I have in my collection and some of the things that I haven't bought a new one of in a really long time, I think the first ones are probably gonna be cheek products. It's probably gonna be a bronzer and a highlighter stick. But if you were wondering if the brand is worth the price or good quality, yes, it is. And if you want a solid product to start with, maybe start with the eyeliners. I don't know that they do sales very often. I got these on Black Friday and I got a 20% discount, I believe. So it was a pretty good deal for me. And I mean, I needed to replace some of my eyeliners. I didn't have any of these colors. Well, a brown I do have, but I'm very, very close to finishing it up. So it was a good moment to replace, and then, take advantage of that to get myself acquainted with the brand. And Victoria, darling, take my money, take it all. If everything is as good as the eyeliners, I cannot wait to have my mind blown with all the other products. Okay, brand number 2, Lawless. My first product from Lawless has been the Forget the Filler lip plumping glosses. In the past, I've also gotten these mini sizes in 2 other shades. I had the shades George and Glazed. I don't know that Glazed is a permanent line. George is. Glazed, I think, has been changed. I think the name is different now. But I really like these glosses because they are really, really juicy. And I mean, I don't know that the plumping thing is a thing, but I do find them to be very smoothing on the lips. Like you get like a really slick surface that really lets the gloss shine, and I appreciate that. Here are swatches of these two shades that I have at the moment. One is the shade Velvet and the other one is a shade Nudie. So I really enjoy the Lawless formula, and I'm definitely excited to try more. Products that I would like to try include the blushes and their new pressed powder. They released a pressed powder in 2023 that I'm very excited to try. I wonder if it compares to my current LYS. They give me the impression that they could be comparable, and I'm really loving my LYS. So I'm hoping that the Lawless could be maybe an alternative when I finish my LYS. I'm always happy to try a new brand. I'm also curious to try some of their skin prep products, specifically their primer and also their setting powder. I'd be down for trying those, but I think the first thing that I'm gonna try is probably gonna be their pressed powder. Probably. I could also try some lipsticks because they have lipsticks, and again, they have those same like lip balm with a lot of pigmentation kind of products, and maybe one of those could be good. But based on the lip gloss formula, I'm very excited to try more from the brand, and Annie Lawless seems to be very receptive to customer feedback. She's always like restocking favorite shades, issuing like queen size gloss sizes because people want a bigger size of really popular shades and that sort of thing. So I appreciate that in a brand owner, and they don't seem to be rushing into doing a whole lot of launches just to kind of keep up with the Joneses. They seem to at least try to put some thought into their product line to make sure that it makes sense for the brand that they are, and I appreciate that. But based on the glosses, this is one of my favorite gloss formulas ever. I really like it. I do think that the minis are a good value. You can get minis at Sephora, and you can get mini sets usually on the holidays and also on the Lawless website. Brand number 3, Givenchy. Volume Disturbia. You've heard me in a couple of videos already talking about how good this mascara is, how underrated I think it is. I've also tried one of their matte lipsticks. I just have it in a depotted container, so I don't move it around too much. But based on those two products alone, I'm very excited to continue to try the brand. And there has been so much hype and so many positive reviews about their complexion products that I just know that one of my next complexion products, one or maybe several, are gonna be a Givenchy. I expect to need a new concealer in the next 3 to 6 months. I expect to need a new foundation in the next 3 to 6 months. I expect to need a new loose powder, maybe in the next 3 to 6 months. Maybe a powder that is a tiny bit more mattifying. All of those 3 replacements could be Givenchy's. I make no promises. I don't know what's gonna happen. But it seems like a product line that is done very well, that is very friendly towards a spectrum of skin types. Like younger skin and mature skin seem to go very well, especially with the Givenchy complexion products, which I feel like is something that I'm looking for. Again, I'm 38. I'm starting to show some signs of like my skin, moving towards that part where like it's not, not producing as much collagen on its own. So I think that, I have to be a little bit more thorough in considering the formulations of the makeup products that I'm using. I really like what I've tried so far from Givenchy. I really like the Givenchy fragrances that I've tried. So it's again, that positive foundation of trying products and hearing consistent positive feedback from people across different makeup preferences that makes me want to try the brand. But I do think that my next product is definitely gonna be a complexion product. I think it's either gonna be the Prisma Libra foundation, concealer, or the powders. It's gonna be one of those 3. I don't know how long it's gonna take me, but I do think that sometime within this year, I'm probably gonna get a Givenchy product to replace something that I've finished up. I can see it coming. I'm very excited for it. Brand number 4. Here's where the indie brands come in. Lethal Cosmetics. I bought a mystery bag from Lethal Cosmetics, I wanna say in 2022. Spring 2022, I believe. I just bought it because it was pretty affordable. Their mystery bags are like 29 euro or something like that. And it came with a lip gloss, a liquid lipstick, a lipstick that I had to pass along because the shade was too light for me, and then 2 single shadows. So the single shadows are these 2, this gold and this pink. I'm actually wearing the pink today as the matte shade that I use for this look. Oh, oops. I was gonna swatch both of the shades and I swatched the gold. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Here's that pink. I've also used this pink eyeshadow as a blush and it looks beautiful. So here are the swatches of the 2. Let me see if I can find a corner of my hand to swatch these guys. There we go. So I've gotten a chance to try, look at that gold. Holy cow. I've gotten a chance to try both a lethal matte eyeshadow and a lethal shimmer shadow, which I think is pretty good. And then on lip products, I've tried a liquid lipstick and I've tried a gloss. I love the gloss. I love their gloss formula. You've heard me talking about it a whole bunch of times. I only have the one gloss, but I would love to have this gloss formula in like every color of the rainbow. Let me swatch the 2 that I have. So I have the Chimera liquid lipstick in Voltage, which is this very bright orange, and then the gloss in shade Nexus, which is like this kind of very pale, very cool tone mauve, which I love to wear with like my mauve and my purple lipsticks to kind of neutralize them a little bit. Very positive experience with the lethal eyeshadow. I think that they both build really well, last very well. The matte has great color payoff. The shimmer is very, very visible, very impactful. Very little fallout on both cases. So I'm excited to try more from the brand. I would love to try some of the multi-chromes because they do have a pretty good standing as far as like in the multi-chrome space. Lethal multi-chromes seem to be pretty good. I'm also curious to try one of their highlighters and maybe one of their powder blushes. I would love to try some of those things and then find like a bullet lipstick that is actually more friendly to my skin tone, like a better color for me so that I can try their bullet lipstick formula. Customer service is fantastic. Products come packaged very, very safely, like nothing came broken, nothing came spilling or anything like that. So I appreciate that. And I also liked kind of the fact that they gave like a variety of formulas in the mystery bag so that you could try a couple of different things of the same kind and start kind of like finding out your favorites. The liquid lipstick formula, I don't really hear people talking about it, but it's a very, very comfortable liquid lipstick. And I would love to try more shades. Definitely. Like I'm not a liquid lipstick person, but I really like the lethal liquid lipstick formula. So I'm also open to like trying more of those. And last but not least, we are going to finish with another indie brand, at least in the 4 that, actually these are 5. This is a 5. I can't count. Oh my God. 5 and an honorable mention. Okay. Brand number 5 that I would like to try more from in 2024, Sydney Grace. I have shorts here with my Sydney Grace multi-chromes. I have a video comparing them to the e.l.f. duochrome liquid eyeshadows. I also have 2 eyeshadow palettes from Sydney Grace that I use really frequently. Today, I'm using mostly Sydney Grace eyeshadows outside of that lethal matte for this look. All of the other shadows except for the matte pink that I use are from the Mel's Memory bundle, the bundle that they released based on a color curation from the late Mel Thompson. I also have the Tiny Marvels palette and it is fantastic. So good. Sydney Grace mattes might be my favorite mattes ever. They are so good. They blend so well. They build upon themselves really elegantly. Like you're not gonna get that kind of like cakey layer of mattes that happens sometimes if you try to build up a matte a lot. That doesn't happen with Sydney Grace eyeshadows. Love their shimmer shadows. I mean, you can see some here. This is like a lilac. It comes across kind of as gold on the screen, but it's a lilac. And then like I have a very subdued shimmer pink on the shadows, but of course I also have other shimmers like this blue, and then I have 3 multi-chromes that I absolutely adore because they are just magical. This is my favorite birthday girl. Do I have, yes, I have a little corner in my hand that I can swatch this on. These have to be swatched every time because they're just spectacular. Look at that. Oh, so good, so satisfying. Ooh. So yeah, I'm very, very impressed with the Cine Grace eyeshadow formula. I have pretty much every formula that they make, and the reputation of the Cine Grace eyeshadows overall in the online makeup space, like I absolutely understand it. Whatever it is that they're doing over there in California, please keep doing it. You are delivering just eyeshadow magic, not just the multi-chromes, but like all their eyeshadow formulas are really, really, really good. I'm curious to try their cream blushes next. I would love to try their cream blushes. They make those little pots. I would love to try a cream blush from Cine Grace next. They seem to do like really neutral shades for their cream blushes, like very wearable shades. So it just sounds like something that anybody would want to wear. So I think that the cream blushes could be a great next product for me. And last but not least, we are actually going to give an honorable mention to the brand that I'm wearing on my lips today, which is MAC. I haven't worn a whole lot of MAC over the years. I used to have their eyeliners, like I used to wear their eyeliners a lot in my early 20s, and then I kind of stopped for no real reason. And then, like I started buying Fix Plus and all of that. And then, I got this lipstick as a gift with purchase like 2 years ago. It's called Shocking Revelation. It's in the Powder Kiss formula. A very, 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 very comfortable matte lipstick formula. Some of the most comfortable matte lipstick I have ever worn. It really does feel pillowy on the lips, and it smells like vanilla frosting. So it's just a very, very enjoyable experience. Like, that you're gonna wear a really durable matte with a lot of like color opacity that is not gonna destroy your lips in the process. So I'm very curious to try more Powder Kiss lipsticks. I know that they come in a couple of different formulations, but overall, just more products from MAC. I would love to try a MAC highlighter next. I mean, they have such great reviews, and even people that borderline hate on MAC don't hate on MAC highlighters because they do highlighters very, very well. MAC blushes are legendary. I've never tried like a Glow Play blush. Like, I've never tried one of those. I would love to try one of the blush formulas. Paint pots, I've never tried any of those. So I think it's just MAC has so many like legendary products where like MAC walked so everybody else could run, that I've never tried, that I just want to try them. I just want to see what they're like. I've never tried a MAC mascara. I'm curious to try the MAC Stack maybe. I've never tried a MAC primer. Does MAC make primers? I've never tried a MAC foundation. Like, there's so much from the brand that I've never tried. It was available in my country where I grew up when I was, in my early 20s and stuff, but back then I couldn't afford it. I could afford the eyeliners and that was about it, but not much else. And then I don't know, I think that over time I just kind of got distracted, and MAC, it wasn't advertised as heavily, it kind of fell off the wayside. But the reality is that MAC is around because MAC makes solid products. Like, it's not a coincidence. In the US, I do agree with the people that say that like in the US, people have this perception that MAC is like in their flop era and that MAC is not doing well. Step outside of the US and you're gonna see that MAC is doing just fine, okay? MAC is doing just fine. Asia, MAC is doing just fine. The Middle East, MAC is doing just fine. Latin America, MAC is doing just fine. And there's a reason for that. I do think that they set a precedent for what we expect from makeup and what we expect from makeup artistry. And I think that their place in the industry is definitely warranted. Like, we owe MAC a lot when it comes to like the makeup that we take for granted today. So like, I've only ever tried lip products, eyeliner, and then the Fix Plus, but I would very much like to try other products. So I'm gonna be paying a closer look at MAC and cheek products like blushes and highlighters, and maybe even complexion products. But I think my first priority would be cheek products because I can't resist a good cheek product. That's just me. That's it. Clearly, I can be a math teacher and I shouldn't be doing math for anyone because I thought this video was gonna be 4 brands, and it's not 4 brands. It's 5. It's actually 6. But we're gonna say 5 and an honorable mention for the sake of not making me look too terribly bad. I hope you enjoyed this video. That's gonna be it for today. Please let me know in the comments what brands are you interested in trying more of? What brand has left a positive first impression on you, and what do you want to try from that brand next? I would love to hear from you. Thank you very much for joining me in my adventures with makeup, and I will see you on the next one. Bye-bye.